Taking the First Step by Rudzinskyj. There's no point wallowing in what might have been. It happened. You don't really need to make any preparations or try to ensure that you will be safe. The real challenge for all of us is acceptance. Acceptance of things as they are is the starting point for being able to change anything. It is important to realize that only then can change happen, and even then, there's no guarantee that it will. Maybe I simply have to change my point of view, in which case there will be no need to change the whole situation. I can perceive the situation as a problem or as a challenge. It's up to me. Generally, personally, I see things as challenges. But from time to time, I slip into self-pitying mode and say, why me? But what can change if I remain at this level of awareness? Nothing. Sooner or later, I have to get off my arse and do something. And that's good. Action creates the possibility that something can change, step by step. And then my mind says, why did you sit on your arse for so long, pitying yourself? How much time have you wasted? If I had got up straight away, I would have got much further. Does this ring a bell? Forget this and simply go on. It's only another stratagem of the mind to lead you into depression and pessimism. All that does is give you a load of woulds and shoulds. Now I'm moving forward. That's all that counts. I'm worried. Sure I am. I stop judging whether things are good or bad. Even the lingering has its purpose. Otherwise it wouldn't have happened. I take the first step. It may seem as though it's going to hurt. Maybe it will. Then I find out that the first step is far less painful and demanding than all the thinking about it. Wonderful. I have taken the first step, and my whole situation has changed. I'm no longer on the same spot as before. I have moved. Maybe it's just 1 millimeter. Maybe it's a light year. It doesn't matter. There is time to take a small step, and there is time to take a big step. Every step is important, however long or short. The most important thing is that I am moving. I have taken the first step. What a relief. What next? Maybe another step. Let's do it. Is it possible? Of course it is. Great. And the next one. When I have taken the 64th step, I will be on that little hill over there, and I can have a breather. Maybe there will be a view over the countryside, and that's great. I can look back and see how far I've walked, and how much further I need to walk. It will be easier to consult my map and plan a more direct route. Have you noticed what's going on? Your mind is moving, but you are standing here on the same spot, dreaming how it's going to be when you get over there. What am I going to buy with the money? Or how will it be when I meet the woman of my dreams? The truth is, you're still standing on the same spot, and your goal is no closer. Maybe it's even further away. There's no step 64. Just think about it. You can dream about it and how it might be when you get there, but it doesn't exist. It will always be different from what you have planned. What comes next is disappointment. How came it didn't work out? You prepared yourself well. You put in a lot of time and effort, and it didn't work out, yet again. There's always something getting in the way. It was bad luck, possibly. But the simple truth is you're still standing on the same spot. You need to take the first step. After step number 1, there is another step number 1. What if 1 plus 1 does not equal 2? It doesn't, not in real life. After step number 1, we are in a different place, a place we could not have imagined before we took step 1. We have moved into a different space. And then, surprise, surprise, there's another step 1. You don't need to make great plans. It's useless, and not a very effective way to prepare for the future. Either way, it will be different. Be more conscious. As a child, I longed for love and acceptance. Then I wanted to be a hero, to be strong, to be famous, to be irresistible. Who did I want to impress? Since I was only a child, it was most probably my parents. That is fairly normal. We pass on non-acceptance and lack of understanding from one generation to the next. It's nobody's fault. It is very difficult to pass on something different to what you have been given, but we do have the power to change that. When I say change, I mean to be more conscious in our relationships. It would be foolish to expect perfection. It's sufficient to pause and reflect that perhaps right now I'm not behaving as I would under normal circumstances. I may be doing something I might regret later, or that I might be unhappy with. Yes, most of us realize that it is helpful to slow down or pause and to take stock of what's going on in our present moment experience and to ask, is this really what I want to do right now? Am I behaving towards my surroundings in such a way that I will feel in harmony with them tomorrow? If the answer is yes, fine. But if there is any doubt, perhaps that I'm feeling that I could be or should be doing something differently, or the way I am behaving right now isn't authentically me, in that case, it's time for a change. It needn't be a dramatic one, and it doesn't have to result in a never-again resolution. All resolutions and plans create an expectation, and expectations often result in disappointment. How do I recognize that I'm heading towards a hurtful situation? It's usually some sort of compulsion driving me to do something I'm not really comfortable with. When I get such a strong feeling, I need to make a decision there and then. In such a case, it is much better to slow down or even to stop. Is your whole being shaking? Do you really feel that if you don't act immediately, the whole situation will go to pot? Or will some other possibility arise if you slow down? Stop. Stop and breathe. Notice what's happening. Just notice it. Leave unanswered such questions as why. Don't even think about what to do right now. It will pass in a few minutes, or at least the uncomfortable feelings will be less intense. Only then can we reach a state where we are capable of responding appropriately. You may say that some situations require an immediate response, or that when your intuition speaks, you should act immediately, and you are right. However, intuition appears straight away, with no room for thoughts to squeeze in. Your body simply reacts at once. Then, things simply just happen. If there is space enough for a thought, a question, or doubt, it means either you have already missed the signal, or that it is simply time to slow down and pay more attention. Once again, avoid reacting. Don't try and solve it. Just observe it. It's not easy, because none of us enjoys sitting with our doubts and uncomfortable feelings. I know from personal experience. but it's the only way. All it asks of us is to be heard. We don't have to react to it. Just observe it and listen to what it is trying to tell us. Maybe it isn't even that important. Maybe it's just a collection of accumulated feelings from situations we haven't processed properly. Think of it as taking the rubbish out, but instead of dumping it straight into the rubbish bin, you look at each discarded piece, say goodbye to it, and show your gratitude to it for having been with you. If you take care of your feelings, this happens automatically.